Hi, my name's Kate. I'm an Egyptologist and I have been studying for the vast majority of my life, whether in formal education or independently. And recently I have realised something about succeeding in academia that I think it's really important to share with you. It's something that may be causing your grades to be low, your essays not to be marked as high as they should be, and you not being able to meet your full potential. And it's something that we just don't talk about enough. And that is lacking confidence in academia and causing you to be stuck. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos online trying to help you to improve your academic performance, whether it's revision techniques, how to read properly, how to write well, how to organise your notes properly, etc., etc. But these won't work if you're stuck in your work because your confidence is low. So if you feel like this could be your problem, I'm going to show you how you could try to build your confidence. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just somebody who has been through this a few times and who wants to help you push past it. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect graph, and this graph tells us a story. So the vertical axis is for confidence, and the horizontal axis on this particular graph on the screen is for competence. I'd like to say knowledge, because when we're talking about academia, a lot of the time the problem comes from the amount of knowledge we have to gain, whether it's knowledge of skills or knowledge of content that you need to learn to pass a course or to be able to write an essay. So I'm going to be talking about it in the context of knowledge. The wiggly line that represents the journey that the scholar is going on in the Dunning-Kruger effect. At the bottom, at the beginning, we've got the lowest knowledge and the lowest confidence. And that relatively quickly increases to a height of confidence, the highest point of confidence on this graph, when you have learnt a small amount of knowledge, because you feel like you know quite a lot. So this is called the peak of Mount Stupidity, and it's called this because at this point you're very confident because you know a bit, but you don't realise that you actually have a lot more to learn. Basically, you don't know what you don't know. But then you gain a bit more knowledge. Maybe you go to the library and you see quite how many books there are that you could possibly read about this particular subject. And your confidence decreases very quickly, very sharply, into a very low point. And that's called the Valley of Despair. And then if you're able to push past this, you steadily increase your confidence as you increase your knowledge. This is called the slope of enlightenment, to the point where your confidence has risen considerably, but is kind of staying at the same point even as you gain more knowledge, and this is known as the plateau of sustainability. So theoretically, the more you learn, the more your confidence grows, and hopefully your work is of higher quality because of a combination of your increased confidence, your increased knowledge, and the benefits that those things bring, such as in improved quality of writing. But in this video, I'm talking about being stuck in the valley of despair, not able to get up that slope of enlightenment, not being able to progress in your research, writing, revision, whatever it is that you're doing. For me, when this happens, it feels like no matter how hard I try, I can't mentally get out of the valley of despair or feel like I'm making progress. This has happened a few times for me, the worst one being a more than 3-year struggle to do one particular huge research project that I really underestimated, that eventually I had to quit. So when this happens, you might freeze and just completely procrastinate over your project, not being able to do any work on it. Or you may continue trying to work on it, perhaps trying to do lots of different tips and techniques to try to change things so that you're able to do something different to push through it, but feel like you're not making any progress, even though you might be. You might procrastinate through perfectionism, or you might try different techniques to redo what you're struggling with, such as rewriting the same part of an essay over and over again, or reorganising your notes until this somehow miraculously causes you to be able to carry on. But none of it feels like it's working. Trust me, I have been there many times. Being stuck in the valley of despair may manifest itself in several ways: burnout, imposter syndrome, procrastination, even combining with anxiety and depression to make your mental health worse. And while these things have their own distinct psychological profiles, I do think that lacking confidence can help to cause them or help to make them worse. And the lacking of confidence that I'm talking about here is confidence in your academic abilities, in your resilience, and your ability to push through. So how can you get out of burnout if you don't feel like you're able to? You need to believe that you can do the project you're stuck over, and be confident in your abilities generally. The Dunning-Kruger effect graph has confidence as one of its two main axes, but this confidence is one of a specific thing, a specific research topic, an academic subject, a new job, etc. So the confidence that you gain over time as you study and gain more competence or knowledge, as described in this graph, is related to this specific subject. So the confidence that I'm talking about is not confidence in this specific subject, but confidence in you yourself. It's more general and deeper in your abilities as a student, a researcher, an academic, or whatever. The kind of confidence that, when lacking, causes you to develop such problems such as imposter syndrome and other related things. Or, more generally, it's a lack of confidence in your ability to do hard things or conquer your demons. This can come from a lack of confidence in yourself generally, or I think could be caused by a series of back-to-back blows, such as a series of low grades or a series of negative feedback, particularly when you don't have time to reflect and recover and to acknowledge the things that you have achieved. Without appropriate help, these things can, I think, cause a sort of stress response in which you try to subconsciously protect yourself from further problems, such as by severe procrastination or wanting to quit. This can obviously have a negative effect on your present and future, from not handing in your homework on time to not applying for your dream job or dream degree course. It's really important to try to recognise what's causing your problems, to try to diagnose it so that you're able to seek the right help. Otherwise, you can continue in this slump, or keep trying the wrong tips to try to improve your academic skills for weeks or even months, such as organising your notes better. Here are my tips to help you build your confidence in academia. So the first one is to journal about it. It's really good to get things off your chest, particularly if you feel like you can't talk to somebody else about it. Journaling gives you the opportunity to really think things through and work things out. And then maybe you'll actually work out what your problem is and maybe even come up with some solutions yourself. It's also really easy to talk negatively to yourself in your own head, but it's actually quite difficult to talk negatively to yourself when you're writing things on paper. So it is a healthier way of processing things. And related to this, do journaling prompts. I'm sure there's lots out on the internet, or even maybe AI can suggest some academic journaling prompts for particular problems that you may feel that you have. You should also be kind to yourself. You need to have positive associations with your studying, research, or whatever it is that you're doing, so that you don't get stressed every time you sit down at your desk. Try affirmations as well, positive statements that you can say again and again if you need to, in the relevant situations when you need to, that remind you that you should be kind to yourself, that you have been capable of achieving things in the past. One I particularly like is, I have done hard things, so I can do hard things. You should also celebrate your wins, even tiny things, even if you're just saying, woohoo! Break your successes down into tiny little things and list them in your journal. Not just the big things like I handed in my essay, but anything that you did to achieve this, that you're proud of or that you want to be proud of, such as, I handed my essay in 1 hour early and I got positive feedback, and then quote that feedback in your journal. Maybe make a distinct page in your journal where you can quote your positive feedback or list your wins, so that if you don't want to go back and read your journaling extracts, you can read the list of positive things that you've done. And a really important thing is that might come out of your journaling, identify specifically what you're struggling with. Is it reading? Is it remembering things? Is it believing in yourself? Is it procrastination? And then, if you need to, go and speak to your teacher or tutor about this. They are trained to be able to help in matters like this, and it really will help. And here are my project-specific tips. So list your progress, even small, on the specific project that you're struggling with, even if it's, I read 3 pages, so that you can see that you've actually made progress, and then tomorrow you know where to pick up from. This is really important if you don't feel like you're making progress. You are. If you can make a plan for the project that you're doing, try to stick to it. Try not to go off studying something that might be related but probably isn't. Don't forget that the bottom axis on the Dunning-Kruger effect graph has the ability to stretch out for as much knowledge or competence that there is in the particular subject. Because when you're doing a research project or revision or whatever it is, there is a lot of information to learn. So if you're able to stick to an essay plan or revision plan or whatever it is, then it narrows down how much knowledge you have got to gain, and then you gaining enough knowledge and therefore gaining a lot of confidence happens quicker. And related to this, if you can narrow down your essay topic or whatever it is that you're doing so that you have a limited number of sources that you need to read, that will help. And the last one, but I think it's really important, remember, it's more important to get your work out there than it is to not get it out there because of perfectionism. I really hope that helped. I've been through this before and I still go through it regularly, but I'm starting to implement my tips and I hope they work for you too. I'll see you in another video soon, and if you would like to see study vlogs, learn about ancient Egypt, or more academic advice videos, please subscribe.